Hello friends, I am CA Dhananjay Gokhale. So I welcome you all to this session, or let's call it as part 2 of this session, because previous session, due to timing restriction, we could not complete, uh, we could not cover all the contents. So we had planned a second part of this session. So Preetam sir will arrive shortly. So in between I will take the charge. So friends, before I start this session, I would like to share with you that uh, please do watch our previous session, because this session is in continuation of the previous session. So friends, I will be recapping some, but friends, as you know, a recap of practical demo is not possible. So I will advise you watch the first session also. After this session is over, you watch the first part of this session, because directly watching this session would be like jumping directly, reading a book directly from, let's say, page number 90. So if you are directly watching this part 2, I will advise afterwards you please watch the part 1 of this session, and then you can combine this session and you can have a detailed outlook. Okay sir, friends, Preetam sir has arrived, so I will hand the chair to him.
Good evening, friends. Welcome back to the sessions named as Excel Kida. Under this session, today we will cover the topics related to annual returns. What are the annual returns specified under GST? To whom it's applicable? To whom it's not applicable? What are the clauses of GST annual return that we need to cover? We will cover here that under which column, which table, which type, what information we should fill, so that the best we can put efforts that gives a proper data and analytical things, and that should match with our financial statement. Friends, basically we have three types of data. One, we have already filed 3B, one we have filed GSTR1, and third we have books of accounts. So all three things gives different data for different informations, and all this gives another aspects for covering the topics today. Today I will cover clause by clause analysis of GSTR 9 annual return applicability, and Dhananjay will take care of the ITC reconciliation balance part, that is a needed hours, that it is a continuous exercise. It is not only needed for 17-18 but also for 18-19, and same continued for 2020 19-20. This will give that what type of action a businessman should take care when he is not able to match the ITC what he is claiming. Government has also proposed the new return forms, under which there is a lot of things that a chartered accountant should be needed to be asked कि उसको कौन सा ITC मिलने वाला है, कौन सा नहीं मिलने वाला है. The new written forms are already being in the process, that Sahaj, Sugam concepts will be there. So friends, I will try to cover the topics for annual return. I will just give you brief about annual return introduction, then Dhananjay will start the topic. Friends, under GST, the Act says Section 35, Rule 80 also says that all the registered persons, those who have taken a registration under GST, they are liable for annual returns. There are certain categories which are being kept out from this annual return. But first of all, I will say that all the registered person except few, those are excluded, all are liable to file the annual returns. Even though the person is registered for a single day, on the same day on 25th July he has taken a registration, and on 25th July he has cancelled the registrations. Even though he is liable for annual return for 17-18 or for the period for the year for which he has taken a registration. Even a single day, single moment does not affect. If he has entered for a GST, then he is liable for registration. And if he has taken more than one registration, suppose he has taken one registration, say address X, and taken registration at address Y. So he will be liable for he has taken two registration, maybe because of by mistake or by a vertical business vertical concept. So this annual return need to file by GST invoice. It is not an entity based. Entity based criteria is only for choosing registration, whether you are liable for registration or not. Second, whether you are liable for audit or not. The entity based calculation is only for that criteria. For filing of annual return, which is being specified under the act, is you need to file GST invoice. So whatever information I will share or whatever information we need, that will be only and only GST invoice we need to bifurcate. As per act says that if you are a regular registered category, if you have taken a registration under regular or you have migrated under from composition to a regular dealer. So during the financial year, if you were a regular dealer even for a single day, then you are liable to file GSTR 9. It is a very compulsory thing. There is no relaxation to be given this thing. Secondly, if you have taken a registration under a composition dealer or migrated to a composition dealer during a period for a certain days or entire financial year, whatever period, if you have a composition dealer category, then you will require to file 9A. If you have taken a registration for deducting TDS TCS under section 51, then you are liable for filing of annual return named as 9B. For 17-18, this 9B will not be applicable as the TDS attracting provisions have been implemented from 1st October 2018. So for July 17 to March 18, these provisions were not been implemented by the government or introduced implemented in the portal there. So these provisions will not be there. So 9B will not be in 17-18, but definitely for 18-19 and onwards, these provisions will be there. So 9B will also be applicable to this assessee, and all the registered assessees whose aggregate turnover on a PAN basis exceed rupees 2 crore, then he will be liable for his accounts to be get audited by a chartered accountant or a cost accountant and submit his audit report under in form 9C and reconciliation statement that is needed to be submitted by those assessees. The due date which is defined for the GSTR 9 annual returns and the reconciliation statement is the 31st December after the end of financial year for which the transaction happens. Like for 17-18, system generated due date is 31st December 2018, which got later on extended to 31st March, which again got extended to 30 June, then again got extended to 31st August, then again it has now been extended to 30/11/2019. And people are also saying that we are getting the news or messages are communicating that it may be deferred or government may give an exemption for certain criteria. But till the exemption yet to come, it's my view that if you have information, then you should file the information, because filing the information with the government, it's just a submission. But making reconciliation what we should file and where we have paid the taxes or not, the annual return gives that satisfaction and compilation of information that you have made compliance of all things and you have paid the taxes which you need to be paid to the assessee. Friends, covering to the topic, those who are not liable for the registrations, are not liable for filing annual returns. There are 5 peoples which is specifically categorized that these peoples are not liable. Number 1, a person who has not taken a GST registration. So if you don't have a GST number, you are not liable for a GST returns. Secondly, in case of casual taxable person, you are not liable for not liable to file GST annual return. Casual taxable person are those person who has came into a state for a certain specific transaction, either trade fairs or certain things. For a transaction basis, he has taken a registration, so he is not liable for these cases. Second, a person who has taken an input service distribution registration, like taking the ITC and passing to the other GSTN of the same PAN. If he has taken a registration under this type of category, then for that ISD registration he is not liable for annual return, but for his other different GSTN he is liable for filing annual return. Category is there: NRTP, non-resident taxable person, those who are registered for in India, so they need to pay their taxes in advance and assess differently, so they are not liable to file annual returns. And a person TDS deductees. What I already told, for 17-18 these peoples are being get exempted because the provisions have not been introduced. So this is the what criteria who is liable for filing annual return and who is not liable for filing annual return. Now I will hand over the session to Dhananjay to continue with the ITC reconciliation. Okay.
Thank you, Preetam sir, for guiding us on this annual return portion. Now I will demonstrate you the ITC matching. So we will continue from where we left. But before that, I will just have small recap, or just we will call as conceptual recap of what we did or how to do it. Okay, let me show you my screen. Okay, friends, let me open the file. Okay, as you can see, what approach, just a minute. Okay, friends, the approach we had decided that you have a data of books and you have data of 2A. Now let's say there are 100 items in books and 100, let's say 105 items in 2A. Now all the data of 2A might not match with the books. So we will now see that how using Excel we can reconcile that. So at the end of this exercise we will be left with just few rows which are not totally matching with 2A. Maybe might be that invoice amount is totally not matching. In 2A it is 100 and let's say in books it is totally 200. So that is not the case. So these cases we need to see that. So we will be using Excel to find out all these cases. Now in the previous session what I did, I had this data of books and I had the data of 2A. Okay. Now we had chosen 4 columns. Okay. As comparison for this. See, we cannot compare directly GST number with GST number. So what now we have to compare 4 things. Okay. We'll be comparing GST number, date of invoice, amount of invoice and invoice number, actually invoice number. So now as you know, VLOOKUP or match cannot individually search this criteria, 4 fields. VLOOKUP or match can search only on one column. So what we did, we made a combination of 3 to 4 columns. We made first, I started that exercise with the combination of GST and invoice date, invoice amount and invoice number. Then we found many invoices matching. So what I did, some of the invoices matched. Okay, exactly matched. So what I did, I filtered out these invoices and I transferred this invoice to different sheets. So one sheet I kept for books. So those invoices of made all the invoices of the books that could match exactly with the 2A, including all these 4 criteria. So we cut and pasted these invoices in this sheet and respective invoices of 2A into respective sheets. Then we were left with, I started with almost 1400 invoices. After the first criteria, we could identify 662 invoices which we transferred. So 1400 minus 662. So we were almost left with 850 to 900 invoices. Then afterward, still 850 invoices couldn't match. So what we did, now as you know, in 1718 invoice number is not been quoted properly. You get a different invoice number on the physical GST invoice, and let's say in 2A some different number is uploaded. Probably many people are generating with ERP tally, and so they are manually putting the invoice number. So while they send invoice, they quote some number, but in 2A they come to know that XYZ invoice number is repeated. So they change the series later on, and many reasons are there. So you have mismatch of invoice number, but rest of the three fields are matching, like GSTN of the party, date and invoice amount. So what we did on that combination criteria, we removed invoice number. Okay, then we told Excel to make a unique column containing GSTN of the party, date and invoice amount. So date, we had formatted it DD format, and amount, if you remember, we rounded it to the nearest zero, because what I had seen in 2A, in many times amount is put in decimal places, but in books people directly round it, so their mismatch comes. So what I did, I made a combination and tried to match by rounding the amount. So after that exercise, again some matching was done, and we could extract, let's say we were actually able to extract 499 invoices. Okay, 499 invoices matched with the criteria GST of the party, date and invoice amount. Okay, so moment I removed invoice number from the matching criteria, 499 invoices immediately matched. So what I did, I separated out these invoices and again transferred these invoices to another sheet. One sheet for the respective invoices of book, other sheet for the respective invoices of 2A. So what we want, that we want two sheets, one for books, one for 2A, and we want exact number of rows. That so XYZ invoices, XYZ number of invoices from books are matching with XYZ number of invoices with 2A. Okay, let's see. So 499 invoices of the books without GST number are matching with, let's see, 478. Friends, I think there is some error. Some extra invoices of the books were transferred in the last session due to the last time restriction. So what I will do, I will identify that invoices which were extra copy pasted. So what we will do, we will match these invoices. So I will again make a combination. I will make a combination is equal to, we will concatenate, okay, is equal to GST number, join GST number with formatted date in DD YYYY format, again field separator, and round this invoice amount to the nearest zero. Okay, so we got this combination. I will copy paste this combination by double clicking on this fill handle. Let's do same for the respective invoices we separated out for the 2A. So our combination would be is equal to GST number, field separator and date formatted in DD YYYY format, join field separator, again join invoice amount rounded to nearest 0. Okay, so we have this combination, and now I know that there are some extra I have separated out some extra invoices in the books, so we will remove that book invoices. Okay, now let us match this. Okay, is equal to match, find this combination of book in the comma in the respective combination of 2a comma 0 bracket close, and I will copy paste this formula until the last row. Let's apply filter. We will get hash and in some cases. Okay, so 21 invoices. Okay, so friends, 21 invoices could not match. So 21 invoices I will shift, and we will then get the exact number of invoices. Okay, so we had 499 invoices minus 21 478. Okay, we have 478 invoices in the respective 2a. So I will do, I will again paste back these invoices to the main sheet where we have collated or merged the complete 2a data, ITC data of books. Okay, this was the data I got through Tally. So let's again put back this invoice from where I had copy pasted this. So we'll go column by column. Okay, now I'll delete these invoices. Alt semicolon control minus. Okay, so now we are left with 479 invoices of books and 478 invoices of 2A and 478 invoices in books. Okay, now out of 1400, how many invoices are left now to be reconciled? Okay, now we have only 280 invoices to be reconciled in the books, and in the 2A I have 327 invoices to reconcile. Okay, so now friends, which criteria did we cover? First I covered the criteria and tried matching. First the criteria was match the GST number of the party, then invoice date, invoice amount, and then invoice number. Okay, so using that criteria we filtered out and matched almost 662 invoices. After that I removed the criteria of invoice number because still 850 invoices were not matching. So what I did, from the combination I removed the invoice number cell, and that after that I got the combination. Then I again tried to match. In that exercise I was able to figure out almost 478 invoices which of books which exactly match with respective invoices in 2A. So we again separated out these invoices and again dumped it in separate sheet. Okay, now this is where we left in the last session. Now this session I will cover from here. Okay, from here actual demonstration of this session starts. Okay, now friends, still we are unable to match 280 invoices of books and 327. So sir, आप कुछ बीच में करें. Friends, before I demonstrate, I want Preetam sir will guide us again on the GST Annual Return section.
Yes, friends, we are again back to the topic of annual returns. Earlier, we studied that the persons who is liable for filing the annual returns, those who are not liable for filing annual returns. Now, I will cover what type of data we need to be filed in annual returns and what are the informations and under which column or which table we will try to cover the concept. First of all, friends, as I discussed that this GSTN we need to file GSTN wise, not the entity wise. So it is very much clear that I need to file the data for each GSTN even though my financial statement or my income tax returns or my balance sheets, all those are prepared on the basis of my PAN base. So my information under PAN or my GSTN maybe have a different view. Like if a person has multiple GSTN, then definitely his financial statement will be a consolidated financial statement giving the details for all his GSTN. But in case of GSTN financial statement, there will be a different views. Friends, while there is a concept, there are two different concepts which added to the financial statement and certain factors which are not been covered under GST and certain factors which are not been covered under GST PAN financials, like advances issued. Advances issued by a service provider. Advances issued by a service providers are the amount which are liable for GSTN and the person is liable to pay and report that advances under GSTN GST returns that it is liable for the same. While in financial statement that does not find a place in the financial statement. So if I take a credit of financial statement where I am saying that my turnover is this, my gross receipt is this, but they will not incorporate the advances issued by me which are unadjusted for a certain period. So these are the factors. Secondly, under GSTN there is a concept called interbranch transfer. So if I am transferring a interbranch balance, interbranch, I have two GSTN either in the same state or another state. The two GSTN are considered as two distant persons, so they are liable for GST even though the owner it is managed and controlled by the same PAN. So financial statement consolidate, knock off these entries like the sale by one GSTN to another GSTN having the same PAN, they will not find place in the financial statement. But under GSTN they will be incorporated as sale for one thing and ITC for another thing. So if it is possible that my turnover of a GSTN is more than 2 crores because of this interbranch transfer, I have taken a registration in a one state having 90 lakhs turnover and make an inter transfer of some amount which leads to a same amounts are goods sold of 90 lakhs at a value of rupees more than 2 crore rupees. So that person may be liable for GST audit because of this reason, because his aggregate turnover of the PAN is liable for more than 2 crore rupees. 1.1 crore materials has been sold for 2 crores. Like I am selling the goods to my GSTN of Chhattisgarh. 1.10 crore I have sold at 1.10 crore to that, and that GSTN has sold this material at 1.15 crore. So in my financial statement my turnover will be only 1.15 crores what the ultimate sold by the GSTN of the Chhattisgarh, but under GST it's sold for 2.25 crore because my aggregate turnover here comes to the 2.25 crore. 1.1 what I have sold Maharashtra to Chhattisgarh and then Chhattisgarh sold to 1.15 crore. So it comes to 2.25 crore. That comes to a 9C criteria. तो फ्रेंड्स मेरा बोलना यहाँ बहुत सिंपल है कि फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट मे गिव अ डिफरेंट व्यू. फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट विल नॉट गिव एडवांसेस अ प्लेस in their credit side, while GSTN requires that statement to be reported. Financial statement will not incorporate interbranch transfer to be liable to be a place for the consolidated turnover, but GSTN says like this. There may be sale of assets. sale of fixed asset by one person, that will be not been considered as a turnover in the financial statement, but for GSTN that is a turnover, that is aggregate turnover. We need to incorporate that thing. In financial statement I may incorporate only profit or loss from the sale of that asset. But for GSTN, the aggregate turnover, what I need to report is the turnover, the sale proceeds received from that sale of transactions. तो फ्रेंड्स इतना क्लियर है कि मुझे ट्रांजेक्शन्स को GSTN वाइज रिपोर्ट करना है. May possible, financials are showing different views, different approaches for the thing. One more thing, friends, it is noted that there is no threshold limit specified under the GSTN for filing annual returns. Like there is a registration threshold limit कि आपको एक 20 लाख का टर्नओवर होगा विद इन द स्टेट तो आपको लेना है रजिस्ट्रेशन, या इंटर स्टेट आप ट्रांसफर करेंगे गुड्स का तो आपको रजिस्ट्रेशन लेना है. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. यहाँ पे आपने एक बार जीएसटी में रजिस्ट्रेशन ले लिया तो आपको एनुअल रिटर्न भरना है. अब चाहे आपका टर्नओवर 20 लाख रहे या 20,000 रहे या जीरो रहे. Any turnover, if you have taken a registration, then you are liable for annual return filing. It may be 9, it may be 9A. That depend upon the criteria of registration what you have choose. Friends, second point which is very important while filing the annual return, that in case if you want to file annual return, then you must ensure that all the returns which is required under the law, that is GSTR 3B which is a monthly return, and then second is GSTR 1. It depend upon the your last year financial turnover and the option choose by you. If it comes a quarterly frequency or a monthly frequency as choose by you, अगर आपने उस फाइनेंशियल ईयर के 3B और GSTR 1 आपने नहीं फाइल किए हैं तो आप GSTR 9 या 9A के लिए GSTR 4 के क्राइटेरिया है. तो जो आपके मंथली रिटर्न्स है वो अगर आपने फाइल नहीं किए तो GSTR 9 का ऑप्शन आपके पोर्टल्स में लागू नहीं होगा, आप वो GSTR 9 नहीं भर पाएंगे. तो पहले ये आप इंश्योर कर लीजिए कि 17-18 के आपने GSTR 3B और GSTR 3B और GSTR 1 आइदर मंथली फ्रीक्वेंसी और क्वार्टरली फ्रीक्वेंसी जो भी है आपने वो फाइल कर लिए हैं, तभी ये ऑप्शंस आपके लिए खुलेंगे. GSTR 9A means the annual return option will be visible operational only when if you have filed the GSTR earlier prescribed 3B and 1. Then if you are not able to file the GSTR 9 which is specified or 9A, the act जो बोला गया है उसमें ये बताया गया है, then you will be liable for a late fee which is 100 rupees per day per act. So practically देखा जाए तो 200 rupees per day it is prescribed. There is no reduction, no waiver has been given so far that if you are unable to file आपको कुछ reduction late fee दिया जाएगा even nil filer, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. आपको specified rate के हिसाब से 200 रुपीज पर डे आपको रिटर्न्स लेट फी लगेगा और इसमें कोई मैक्सिमम कैप नहीं है. मैक्सिमम कैप जो है वो है 0.25% ऑफ योर एग्रीगेट टर्नओवर और ₹200 पर डे विच एवर इज हायर. तो अगर आपका 2 करोड़ का टर्नओवर है या 5 करोड़ का टर्नओवर है तो आपको जज करना है कि अब आपको रिटर्न फाइल करना है कि नहीं करना है. जैसा 3B और 1 में था कि आपको 5,000 रुपीज पर एक्ट का एक था, मैक्सिमम 10,000 रुपीज आपको था. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. लेट फी कैन गो टू एनी अमाउंट, इट कैन गो एनी अमाउंट. सो यू नीड टू केयर कि आपको ये चीजें आपको कवर करना पड़ेगा. सेकेंड एक चीज और आप नोट कर लीजिए, उसके बाद धनंजय विल टेक केयर दैट अंडर GSTR 9 you can disclose the additional liability, you can pay your tax. सिर्फ आपको वन साइड ट्रैक दिया गया है कि अगर आपकी कोई लाइबिलिटी छूट गई है तो आप उसको भर दीजिए, उसको डिस्क्लोज कर दीजिए. इफ यू हैव मिस्ड आउट सर्टेन ITC व्हाट यू आर एलिजिबल यू कैन नॉट क्लेम. अगर आपका कोई ITC छूट गया है तो आपको उसको क्लेम करने का ऑप्शन सिर्फ और सिर्फ GSTR 3B से है. GSTR 9 does not allow you to claim the ITC इट्स वेरी क्लियरली स्पेसिफिकली सेज कि एनुअल रिटर्न्स आपको अलाउड नहीं करेगा. आपको आईटीसी क्लेम करना है तो अभी धनंजय आपको बता ही रहे हैं कि देयर विल बी सर्टन केसेस विच आर दैट समथिंग इज अपियरिंग इन टू ए which gives you that you are eligible और by mistake you have आपका कोई छूट गया था, आपके पास इनवॉइस कॉपी नहीं थी या और किसी वजह से आपने ध्यान नहीं दिया, आपने उसको पूरा एक्सपेंडिचर बुक कर लिया, बैंक चार्जेस को पूरा बुक कर लिया, या देयर में भी सर्टन रीजंस कि किसी अकाउंटेंट से इनवॉइस छूट गया या किसी ट्रांजिट में रह गया, तो ये इससे एक फाइंडिंग हो जाएगी कि ये हमारे लिए इनवॉइसेस है जिसको हम क्लेम कर सकते हैं. तो उसको आपको जीएसटीआर 3B के थ्रू ही क्लेम करना है. जीएसटीआर 9 विल नॉट अलाउ यू. तो ये बात आप एक प्रिकॉशनरी समझ लीजिए कि आप नील रिटर्न फाइल कर रहे हैं तो आप एडिशनल लाइबिलिटी तो आप जीएसटीआर 9 के थ्रू पे कर सकते हैं, डीआरसी 3 के थ्रू. बट अगर 2A में भी आपका आईटीसी आ रहा है, ये आपको एक राइट नहीं देता है कि आप इसको क्लेम कर सकते हैं. आपको क्लेम करना है तो आपको 3B के थ्रू ही क्लेम करना है और ये बिफोर फाइलिंग द एनुअल रिटर्न ही क्लेम करना है. अलॉन्ग विथ एनुअल रिटर्न और आफ्टर फाइलिंग द एनुअल रिटर्न्स आप कोई भी मिस्ड आउट आईटीसी फॉर द पीरियड, जिस पीरियड का आप ये रिटर्न फाइल कर रहे हैं, लाइक 17-18 अभी आप एनुअल रिटर्न फाइल कर रहे हैं तो 17-18 का आप आईटीसी बाद में क्लेम नहीं कर सकते. तो बिफोर फाइलिंग एनुअल रिटर्न please be ensured that you have filed your 3B, you have filed your GSTR 1, you have reconciled your ITC with 2A and claim the ITC what is eligible. मे बी आपकी अकाउंटिंग के एरर के इससे वो छूट गया होगा, आप उसको रिकंसाइल कर लीजिए और उसको रिटर्न को फाइल कर दीजिए. नाउ आई विल अगेन हैंड ओवर द सेशन टू धनंजय टू कंटिन्यू.
Okay friends, before I continue, I will display the email ID and phone number of Preetam sir, because after the session is, after we finish our with our content, we shall be glad for your questions. So I will just share this number for 10 seconds. So friends, you can see our phone numbers. So you can directly phone Preetam sir or just email your queries if you want to share some data and get something, ask something. You can email on info@excelkida.com. Friends, just be sure to delete sensitive information like client's name and from your data before emailing me. Okay, so let me get back to my screen from where we left. Okay friends, नाउ अभी ये सब हमने मैच करने की कोशिश की. 1400 में से ऑलमोस्ट हम 280 इनवॉइसेस पे बैठे. सो वी कैन से कि हाथी निकल गया, पूछ रहेगी. बट फ्रेंड्स बिलीव मी, ये पूछ ही तकलीफ देती है. अभी दिखने के लिए तो 280 इनवॉइसेस ज़्यादा कुछ नहीं है. हो सकता है बहुत लोग प्रीफर करेंगे कि उसको मैन्युअली मैच करें, बट बिलीव मी फ्रेंड्स 17-18 में इतनी गड़बड़ियाँ दिखती है, बहुत गड़बड़ियाँ है कि आपके पास हो सकता है कि इससे भी ज़्यादा इनवॉइसेस हो. एक्चुअली दिस डेटा वाज शेयर्ड टू मी बाय प्रीतम सर, सो ही हैड अ वेरी आदर्श टाइप ऑफ डेटा. सो यू मे सी ओनली 280 इनवॉइसेस अनरिकंसाइल्ड, बट आपके केस में शायद इससे भी ज़्यादा निकल सकते. सो आई विल इग्नोर दिस फैक्ट एंड आई विल कंटिन्यू. नाउ वी ट्राइड मेनी कॉम्बिनेशंस. अब ये भी तो हो सकता है ना कि फ्रेंड्स कि आपने इनवॉइस नंबर भी अच्छे से दे दिया, बट देखिए अभी इनवॉइस डेट भी बहुत जगह मिसमैच होती है. बहुत बार होता है कि आपको सेल इनवॉइस, आपको परचेसर यानी सप्लायर से आपके पास इनवॉइस ही आता नहीं है, बट आप बुक्स में तो उसको बुक कर लेते हैं. सो यू बुक एट सम डिफरेंट डेट, बट वो फिजिकली जब 1 में डालता है जीएसटीआर सामने सप्लायर, तो वो कुछ अलग डेट पे बुक कर देता है. सो फ्रेंड्स, इट इज फॉर श्योर दैट देयर माइट बी केसेस वेयर योर इनवॉइस डेट विल नॉट मैच, बट रेस्ट ऑफ द फील्ड्स लाइक जीएसटी नंबर, वो तो सबसे क्रूशियल, जीएसटी नंबर एंड योर अमाउंट, इनवॉइस अमाउंट विल मैच. तो हो सकता है आपके 2-3 दिन या 6-7 दिन का फासला हो सकता है. So now how to identify this and match and reconcile it? So friends, what I will do, I will relax this criteria a bit. Okay, I will first of all I will again add invoice number. Invoice number को थोड़ा सा ऐड कर लेते हैं पहले, क्योंकि इनवॉइस नंबर से थोड़ा सा परफेक्टली हो जाता है. एंड आई व्हाट आई विल डू कि देखिए अभी डेट तो इतनी एक्यूरेटली मैच नहीं होगी. सो व्हाट आई विल डू, हम मंथ वाइज कर लेते हैं. ठीक है, व्हाट आई विल राइट MMM. ओके, and I will copy paste this combination. So can you see now our criteria is GST number, not date, month of the invoice, amount of the invoice and invoice number. I think we will got hold of some more invoice using this criteria. Okay, let me match this criteria, change this criteria for this 2A also. Okay, so in 2A I will same way do this. I will write this as triple M. That means name of the month in 3 digits, and I will add invoice number also to this, and I will copy paste this. Just go on the drag handle on and just double click. Okay. So friends, now let's match. Now again let's try matching this. If Excel is able to caught hold of this same combination or same criteria row in 2A, it will display the row number, because we are not using VLOOKUP, we are using match. So it will display row number, but if it is not able to detect it, it will write #NA. Okay, just a minute. Okay, so let's write our match formula is equal to match, bracket open, what to match, this combination of books, where to match with, in 2A match in the complete T column. Okay, T column, because T column is containing our combination for 2A, comma, how to match, 0 means exact match, bracket close. Now I will copy paste this. Let's try this for in 2A also. Now friends, it is matter of trial error. Okay, we might get or we might not get. Same here, 2A lookup in match with respective of books. Okay, I will again copy paste this. Now using filter, let's find out if we are able to find any rows. Okay, so we got few rows which could match ignoring the date, means considering the month of the invoice. So we ignored the complete date and we tried matching using month by month. Okay, so I will filter out #NA. So we got 9 invoices of books which will match 9 invoices in 2A. Let me show you one of the invoice for just for your information. So let's say this invoice GST number. So this invoice is for 2/4 April 2018 with having amount 33,243. So Excel could locate this invoice into 2A in row number 21. Let's go in row number 21. Okay, so friends, can you see the amounts? The amounts are same, 33,243, 33,243. But can you see in books, it was invoice was booked on 2nd April, but in 2A the fellow wrote date as 1st April. Okay, so due to that reason it was not matching. So what we did, in combination we told that ignore the date, just consider the month. So Excel could figure out and match these invoices. So friends, let's again make a sheet and dump these invoices in the respective sheets. So I will cut paste these invoices. Okay, I will again insert a sheet. So now what's the matching criteria? GST, which field did we match? GST number dash, month of the invoice, amount of the invoice, and invoice number of the books. Okay, let's open another sheet for the respective invoices of 2A. So I will again name the sheet like this: GST number matched, month of the invoice match, amount matched, and invoice number matched for the 2A. Okay, so I will transfer first the invoices of 2A. I will copy paste this invoice. I will copy this and dump these invoices in this sheet. Okay, same for books. We have opened one more sheet for books. So I will copy these invoices and separate out and dump these invoices in this separate sheet. Okay, now let's remove these invoices, friends. But before we remove, be sure to remove this match formula. Okay, remove this formula from the row by copy and paste special. So if I delete from 2A, what Excel will do? It will write hash and even in the 21. So what we will do? I will free this column of the formulas. Okay, I will copy it and paste special values. Same for 2A. I will remove the filter. I will select the complete column using Control Space, Control C, and paste special values. Okay. Now let's filter and delete these invoices. Okay, I will filter the invoices which could match. That means ignoring the hash any. So I will select these invoices and go to the home, delete the entire sheet rows. Okay, let's delete the respective invoices of 2A also. 9 invoices. Okay, let me clear the filter and remove this match formula. Okay, now what may go wrong? We tried this also, but still friends, we are left with 271 invoices. Now let us assume there might be one more mistake, that everything matched, but it may happen that invoice amount is not matching exactly. Just for example, in books you have booked the invoice for 4,222, but in 2A that guy fed us 4,220. Okay, so 222 in books and 220 in 2A. So friends, now this will not match. Excel will not be able to match this type of invoices. So what we will do? We will tell Excel to round amount to 10th places. Okay. Firstly, we had rounded this to nearest decimal places. Now what I will tell Excel? I will tell Excel to round the invoice amount to the nearest 10th paise. Okay, like we do for income tax. So I will write -1, because if I write +1, it will go to the nearest decimal place. So can you see, now the invoice amount has become 1510. Okay, so I just change this formula and added -1. Okay, now let's I again say this is all the trial errors. I will again copy paste this formula, and now let's try matching some invoices. I will again write match formula, and again I will write match. Look for this combination of 2A in respective combination of books, comma 0 means exact match. Let me copy paste this formula. I will double click here. Okay, let's see how many rows we are able to catch. I will ignore the hash NA. Oh, just 5 invoices. Not a great deal. Just 5 invoices. So let's make another sheet. I will give name GST month, amount also matched, amount to the nearest 10 decimal match with invoice number and books. Okay. Let's filter out this, quickly filter. Now I will copy paste the name. I will not waste time in writing the names. So I would be a bit fast from here. Respective invoices for 2A. Okay, so let's separate out 5 invoices and let's now delete these invoices. Let's remove the formula this of match so that we can delete the respective invoices. Okay, 5 invoices of books and 5 invoices in 2A. Let's delete this. I'll select this, Alt semicolon control minus enter, and I will clear the filter. Same for the books. I will select these invoices, Alt semicolon control minus for deleting row, and I will control down and I will clear the filter. Now friends, still invoices are not matching. Now what I will do, we will remove the again invoice number. Okay, so I will remove invoice number, and now let's try. I think now majority invoices should get match in this step. So I will revise this combination a bit. Now I will say that please match GST number, month of the invoice and amount of the invoice rounded to the nearest tenth. Now I think this criteria is very loose, so you should be able to match many invoices using this formula, using this criteria. Okay, let's apply this criteria for respective invoices of 2A also. So I will remove this invoice number portion from this and I will copy paste this formula. Okay, now let's try matching this. Let's see how many invoice we are able to figure out. Match this combination of books in respective combination of 2A, this column number T, comma 0. Let's copy paste. Let's see how many invoices we are able to reconcile. Okay, I will filter out the hash NA. So only 15 invoices, not a big deal. Again So let's again transfer this invoice. Now friends, due to timing restriction, now I will not again open this sheet or the same, or okay, let's open. We can do it quickly, very quickly. I will copy paste this name and I will again insert one more sheet. And this time what we have done, we have ignored the invoice number from the criteria. So what we did, match GST of the party, month of the invoice, amount of the invoice. Okay, same sheet we have to create for 2A also. Same sheet for 2A. Let's transfer these invoices. Now friends, you can actually dump the invoices in the single sheet also, but I will recommend that if you are doing the work, please do it professionally, so that at least if you are investing half an hour or 1 hour in this activity, you have at least segregated results. So in after 1 year you want to again view your data and see that which invoice number didn't match but rest of the things matched. So you have this data in a very classified way. So friends, I will advise to always go in a systematic way. Okay, even if it takes time, I know it takes time. Your half an hour, you would be spending more half an hour, but bear with me. Okay, now let's pick up and copy the same for the 2A. I'll separate this invoice. Okay. Now let's delete these invoices. Now you know this. First, we will paste special and remove the match formula. Okay. We have match formula here. We will use paste special and copy and use paste special and remove the match formula. Okay. And now once we have removed the formula from both the books and 2A, we can safely remove this invoice. I will select this, alt semicolon, control minus, enter, all down to for this drop down, clear filter, same for 2A. So from 1400 we are now left with 251 invoices of books versus 298 invoices of 2A which we couldn't match. Now friends, what do you think? Now how do we proceed? We tried all the things. Now I think still after this we can try one more thing. Now sir, आप बीच में लगे. Okay friends, now I will again hand over mic to Preetam sir, and afterwards we will be applying the final one. Okay, after this I will cover the final issue. एक मिनट, मैं वेबकैम ऑन कर देता हूँ. सेट हो जाएगी, मैं ऑन कर.
हाँ चलिए. एक सेकंड तो ठीक है, चलेगा. कर दो. यस फ्रेंड्स, बैक टू द एनुअल रिटर्न. बीच में हम आते रहते हैं, आपको डिस्टर्ब करेंगे. तो फ्रेंड्स, कमिंग टू द पोर्टल, अब हमको आना है पोर्टल पे कि अब हमको फाइल कैसे करना है. पहले हमने देख लिया किसको फाइल करना है, किसको नहीं करना है, और क्या डेटा को बेस लेके हमको बनाना है. अब बनाना कैसे है, जब हम लोग अब जीएसटी पोर्टल में लॉगिन करेंगे. पोर्टल में लॉगिन करने के बाद देयर इज अ डैशबोर्ड विच गिव्स अ डिटेल की एनुअल रिटर्न का एक टैब आ जाता है. अगर वो टैब हमको वहां नहीं यूज करना है, अगर वो टैब नहीं भी आता है तो क्या करना है? तो हमको जाना है रिटर्न डैशबोर्ड में। रिटर्न डैशबोर्ड में जब हम लोग सर्विसेज में जाएंगे और रिटर्न्स में जाएंगे तो वहां पे एक एनुअल रिटर्न का ऑप्शन आता है। उस एनुअल रिटर्न ऑप्शन में जाके हमको इस रिटर्न को फाइल करना, ढूंढना है। एनुअल रिटर्न आने के बाद में हमको ईयर सिलेक्ट करना है। द टाइम व्हेन वी सिलेक्ट द ईयर,
सर वो अनाउंस कर दीजिए शायद, और पावर नहीं आई तो वो कट जाएगा सेशन अपना।
there may be a problem that here some power cuts are there। अगर पावर शायद 10 मिनट में नहीं आता है तो we may be disconnected for time। तो फ्रेंड्स, till the time I am connected we must be continue with the session। हाँ, just the camera is not, you are not able to see me। the concept is that कि हमको अब एनुअल रिटर्न फाइल करना है, हमको लॉगिन करना है। लॉगिन करने के बाद वी हैव टू ऑप्शन। एक तो जो सामने डैशबोर्ड दिख रहा है वहां पे मैं रिटर्न, एनुअल रिटर्न को सिलेक्ट कर सकता हूं। अगर वहां मैं नहीं देख पा रहा हूं तो मैं जाऊंगा रिटर्न सर्विसेज में। सर्विसेज में जाने के बाद रिटर्न्स में, रिटर्न्स में मुझे एनुअल रिटर्न का ऑप्शन दिखेगा, वहां मुझे क्लिक करना है। वो क्लिक करने के बाद में मेरे पास ऑप्शन आ जाएगा ईयर सिलेक्ट करने का। आई विल हैव टू चूज द सिलेक्ट ईयर। 17-18 सिलेक्ट करता हूं तो उसके बाद में मुझे दो ऑप्शन दिखेंगे, 9 एंड 9C। एनुअल रिटर्न ऑप्शन है। एक पॉइंट में आपको कवर करना भूल गया था जब भी, कि इन केस आई एम माइग्रेटेड फ्रॉम वन कैटेगरी टू अनदर कैटेगरी, तो what should be the my criteria to file the annual return। सपोज आई वॉज बीइंग अ कंपोजिशन डीलर फॉर पार्ट ऑफ द पीरियड, 1 जुलाई से एक्ट आया, 1 जुलाई से 14 अगस्त तक के मैं कंपोजिशन डीलर पे हूं। बाद में मैं रेगुलर में गया और रेगुलर में आने के बाद में मेरा इस पीरियड का, पूरे फाइनेंशियल ईयर का टर्नओवर मेरा 2 करोड़ के ऊपर हो गया, तो मुझे कौन से रिटर्न फाइल करने चाहिए? एक्ट यहां बताता है कि जिस पीरियड में आप कंपोजिशन डीलर थे उस पीरियड का आपको 9A फाइल करना है, और एक आप रेगुलर रजिस्टर्ड हुए इसलिए आपको 9 भरना है, और उसके बाद में आपका टर्नओवर इन कंसोलिडेशन में 2 करोड़ के ऊपर हो गया तो आपको 9C भी भरना है। तो इन दिस केस आपको तीनों चीजें भरनी है, 9A, 9 एंड 9C। आप रेगुलर से कंपोजिशन में आते हैं तो 9 और 9A भरना है, आपको 9C एप्लीकेबल नहीं हो सकता, क्योंकि कंपोजिशन की एक स्लैब है कि उससे ज्यादा आप कंपोजिशन में रहते हुए टर्नओवर कर नहीं सकते। तो कंपोजिशन से रेगुलर में जाने के बाद आप ऑडिट में आ सकते, रेगुलर से कंपोजिशन में जाने के बाद आप ऑडिट में नहीं आ सकते। तो फ्रेंड्स, मैं बता रहा था आपको कि आपको रिटर्न्स में जाके ये सिलेक्ट करना है। एनुअल रिटर्न जब आप सिलेक्ट करेंगे 9 का, तो ऊपर में 3 टैब ऑटोमेटिक है। एक तीन टैब है, एक ऑटो ड्राफ्टेड 9, कंसोलिडेटेड जीएसटीआर 3B, देन कंसोलिडेटेड जीएसटीआर 1। कंसोलिडेटेड 3B इज अ समरी, जितने आपने 9 महीने में जीएसटीआर 3B फाइल किए हैं उनकी पूरी टोटल्स आ जाएंगी। डिटेल्स ऑफ आउटवर्ड सप्लाई, डिटेल्स ऑफ आरसीएम, डिटेल्स ऑफ एसईजेड, डिटेल्स ऑफ एक्सपोर्ट्स विथ पेमेंट, आईटीसी, आईटीसी में आपका इंपोर्ट आईटीसी कितना है, आईएसडी का आईटीसी कितना है। तो जितना जितना आपने आईटीसी क्लेम किया है या जितनी भी डिटेल्स आपने जीएसटीआर 3B में फाइल की है, जितना सही आपने 3B फाइल किया है उतनी अच्छी इंफॉर्मेशन आपके लिए जीएसटीआर कंसोलिडेटेड 3B अपसेट कंसोलिडेटेड 3B रिपोर्ट आपके पास रेडी है। अब आपके पास में आपका एक हाथ है जीएसटीआर 3B जिससे आपने टैक्स का पेमेंट किया, एक हाथ है जीएसटीआर 1 जो कि आधा है क्योंकि उसमें कुछ अमेंडमेंट के ऑप्शंस नहीं बचे हैं आपके पास में। तो अब आपको इन दोनों से आपको जीएसटीआर 9 को फाइल करना है। उसमें भी ऑटो ड्राफ्टेड फिगर आ रहे हैं और उस ऑटो ड्राफ्टेड फिगर को आपको चेक करना है। इफ इट इज इन एग्री विथ योर बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स तो आपको उसको कंटिन्यू सेव करना है, अदरवाइज आपको एडिटिंग करना है। एडिटिंग और अमेंडमेंट भी आप कर सकते हैं। कमिंग टू द टॉपिक जीएसटीआर 9, जीएसटीआर 9 में जो टेबल्स डिफाइन किए गए हैं आपके, देयर आर इंफॉर्मेशन, द इंफॉर्मेशन आर आस्क्ड इन सर्टेन टेबल्स। जो टेबल बताए गए हैं वो टेबल इस प्रकार है कि टेबल नंबर 1, 2, 3 इज द बेसिक इंफॉर्मेशन। आपका नाम क्या है, आपका जीएसटी नंबर क्या है, आपका ट्रेड नेम या लीगल नेम कुछ है तो वो आपको बताना है। और ये ऑटो ड्राफ्टेड है, इसमें आपको एडिट भी नहीं करना है ये आपको दिखता भी नहीं है। जब आप प्रीव्यू करते हैं तो आपको दिखता है कि ये आपका भरा हुआ फिगर है, इसमें आपको कुछ भी नहीं करना। देन कम्स टू पार्ट टू इज द डिटेल्स ऑफ लाइबिलिटी। नाउ लाइबिलिटी को इन्होंने दो भाग में बाइफरगेट कर दिया है। वन, द लाइबिलिटी वेयर it attract GST, means there's a taxable events are there, tax payables are there, and you have paid the taxes. Second event is the exempt supply, or I can say non GST attractable supply. इसको टेबल नंबर 5 में दिया है। तो लाइबिलिटीज आपको दिखानी है टेबल नंबर 4 और टेबल नंबर 5 में, जो आपके आउटवर्ड सप्लाई है, जो आपने 3B में दिखाई है। देन देयर इज अ पार्ट 3 विच इज अ इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट। इसको आपको तीन भाग में देना है। टेबल 6 जो आपने आईटीसी क्लेम किया है, टेबल 7 जहां आपने आईटीसी रिवर्स किया है, टेबल 8 रिकंसिलेशन ऑफ जीएसटीआर 2A व्हाट धनंजय इज डूइंग फॉर यू, एंड दैट विल गिव अ थिंग कि आपके कौन से इनएलिजिबल है या एक्स्ट्रा 2A में एंट्री आ गई है। यहाँ जो धनंजय की ट्रेनिंग है यहाँ आपके लिए यूजफुल आएंगी। देन टेबल 9 इज द आपने जो लाइबिलिटी डिस्क्लोज की है टेबल नंबर 4 के थ्रू, टेबल नंबर 5 के थ्रू, और जिसको आपने सेट ऑफ किया टेबल नंबर 6 से, रिवर्स किया 7 से, इस टेबल नंबर 4, 5, 6, 7 इसके बाद में आपकी जो लाइबिलिटी निकली है इसको आपने कैसे पे किया है वो आपको टेबल नंबर 9 में दिखाना है। व्हाट इज योर लाइबिलिटी एंड हाउ you have discharged this. Partly you must have discharged with the input tax utilization of credit, partly you have discharged with the your what I am saying, partly you have discharged with your input tax credit, partly you have discharged with payment of cash ledger. So this is the way it works there. तो अब आपको टेबल नंबर 9 पे हम लोग पहुंच गए। देन देयर इज 4 टेबल्स, टेबल नंबर 10, 11, 12, 13 which gives a adjustment with related to the circular number 26 issued on 29/12/2017, जिसमें हमको ये बताया गया था कि आपने अगर कोई भी रिटर्न फाइल करने में कोई रेक्टिफिकेशन अगर आपको करना है, आपने 3B फाइल कर दिया है तो उसमें कुछ गलत इंफॉर्मेशन चली गई है, राम का शाम में चले गया, शाम का राम में चले गया है, एक डेसिमल ज्यादा चले गया है, एक डेसिमल कम हो गया है, या इस टाइप की कोई इंफॉर्मेशन से एक फिगर कम ज्यादा हो गया है, आईटीसी का फिगर कुछ और रिपोर्ट हो गया है, सीजी का एसजी, एसजी का आईजी में चले गया है। तो दिस टाइप ऑफ थिंग्स अगर आपके कुछ टैक्सेस में गलत हुआ है या एनी मिस्टेक, जो भी आपकी गलती हुई है उसको सर्कुलर 26 बताता है कि आपको कैसे एडजस्ट करना है, और ये जो आपने एडजस्ट किया है ये कहाँ एडजस्ट किया है इसकी रिपोर्टिंग है टेबल नंबर 10, 11, 12, 13 में। टेबल नंबर 14 सेज कि आपने जो इस सर्कुलर नंबर 26 के एडजस्टमेंट किए हैं which you have made in next financial year as compared to the year in which you have done accounting there, तो अब आपको उसको रिपोर्ट करना है कि आपने कहां रिपोर्ट किया है, और इससे जो एडिशनल लाइबिलिटी आ रही है whether you have paid or you have not paid, but that is need to be reported in table number 14. Then table number 15 to 18 are there. These are certain information what they have asked, purchase from a composition dealer, job work, these are certain informations what they have asked. Then there is also a requirement for HSN details. HSN के लिए भी कौन सी HSN रिपोर्ट करना है, कौन सी नहीं करना है, और किसने की रिपोर्ट करना है वो उसमें बताया गया है। कमिंग टू द पॉइंट, टेबल नंबर 4 शुड आई टेक for me? Okay, so friends, if power comes then we can continue, otherwise after 5 minutes we may have to discontinue the session. So friends, coming to the so I will request Dhananjay to put his mark, because if I will start then it will be a long term there. Okay.
Friends, since I am having only 5 minutes backup with me, now I will quickly go through this. So now we have seen all types of matching. Now I think we are just left with one thing. What we can do now to match, that we will just friends ignore the date. Now it might happen कि आपके इनवॉइस में कोई अप्रैल महीने में इनवॉइस है और करस्पॉन्डिंग कोई इनवॉइस सेम आपके 2A में मई महीने में आ गया, अभी ये लास्ट एक पॉसिबिलिटी रहती है, इससे कुछ क्राइटेरिया अभी लूज करने के लिए है भी नहीं है. सो व्हाट आई विल डू फ्रॉम दिस क्राइटेरिया नाउ, आई विल straight away remove this date. Okay, I will straight away remove the date. Let's copy paste this. Sorry, I think I removed the separator also. Separator remove नहीं करना था. Okay, I will copy paste this. So now we are left with party GST number and invoice amount rounded to the nearest 10. Okay, same here. Friends, this is a now concluding portion of demonstration. After that, what is left, you actually manually need to reconcile it. Now whatever is left, now you Preetam sir has covered in detail that क्या क्या possibility हो सकती है. चलो अभी मैच कर लेंगे हम लोग, जितना possible है उतना मैच कर लेते हैं. Okay, I will match this combination with the respective in 2A. I guess many things will be matching now in this. Is equal to match this with respective of books, comma 0, bracket close. Let's see how many rows or invoices were we able to match. Okay, out of 251, 142 तो मैच हो गए, यानी अभी 1400 में से अभी सिर्फ 142 बचते हैं. 142 या रादर 100 इनवॉइसेस ही बच जाते हैं. ओके, 289 में से 141 तो क्लियर हो गए. फ्रेंड्स, अभी इसमें एक पॉसिबिलिटी है कि अगर सेम अमाउंट का इनवॉइस है तो वो डबल आ जाएगा, क्योंकि यहाँ पे है हमारे पास काउंट 142 है और यहाँ पे हमारे पास 141 है, तो प्रोबेबली बुक्स में एक इनवॉइस एक्स्ट्रा है. तो चलो वो बाद में देखते हैं, बट हम लोग पहले सेपरेट आउट कर देते. ओके, नाउ दिस टाइम आवर क्राइटेरिया इज, आई विल इंसर्ट अ शीट. अभी हमने क्या मैच किया है, इग्नोरिंग द इनवॉइस डेट. हमने पूरी यानी पार्टी एंड इनवॉइस अमाउंट राउंडेड टू द नियरेस्ट 10th, यानी अभी हमने टोटली इग्नोर कर दिया कि वो इनवॉइस कौन से महीने में आया था, कौन से डेट में आया था. वी आर नॉट टोटली कंसर्न अबाउट इट. ठीक है, चलिए कॉपी पेस्ट करके सेपरेट आउट कर देते जल्दी से. आई विल कॉपी द शीट नेम, रिस्पेक्टिव शीट फॉर 2A के लिए भी एक ओपन अप कर देते. ओके, नाउ दिस शीट इज फॉर 2A. ओके, एंड respective 2A invoice I will copy here. Okay, let me copy this. Okay, let's again delete this matched invoice so that finally we are left with the invoices which you have to actually, friends, manually see and compare कि अभी क्या, अभी ये सब के भी बावजूद ऐसे क्या छूट रहा है इसमें. फ्रेंड्स, अभी इसके बाद एक ही चीज बचती है कि आपके इसमें टोटली अमाउंट्स रॉन्ग है. अभी हमने डेट भी हटा दिए. आई एम डिलीटिंग दिस इनवॉइस, और नहीं तो कीबोर्ड भी दिख नहीं रहा. ओके, लेट मी डिलीट दिस इनवॉइसेस. सो फ्रेंड्स, फाइनली अभी कितने इनवॉइस बचते हैं 2A में? वी आर लेफ्ट विथ 157 इनवॉइसेस और बुक्स में वी आर लेफ्ट विथ, फाइनली बुक्स में 109 इनवॉइस है. फ्रेंड्स, अभी 1400 में से वी आर नाउ लेफ्ट विथ 110 इनवॉइस. एंड फ्रेंड्स, अभी इतना तो आपको कुछ तो मैन्युअली करना ही पड़ेगा. हाँ, now we'll be concluding our session.
Dhananjay, it was a really nice session to attend with you and share my experience covering the topics for today. Friends, because of some power connection and technical issues, we are unable to continue the sessions. But it was a really nice session that we are shared that what type of information we need to file an annual returns. Friends, it is very simple to file annual return, but the thing is that we must take care that what information we are submitting that should be in reconciliation with books of accounts, so that if anything more is needed you can easily get it, आप उसको जल्दी से निकाल पाए, आपके एनुअल रिटर्न्स आपकी बुक्स को डिस्क्लोज करे जो आपकी बुक्स में एंट्री हुई है, और जो अगर आपसे गलती हुई है या जो छूट गया है आप उसको प्रॉपर रिकंसाइल करके एनुअल रिटर्न में आ जाए, और उससे जो लाइबिलिटी आती है उसको DRC 03 से भर दे, ताकि आपको इंटरेस्ट या पेनल्टी उसी डेट तक के लगे, उसके आगे ना लगे। एज फॉर पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू द कि इसका जो क्लॉज वाइज एनालिसिस है हम लोग जब नेक्स्ट सेशन लेंगे वी विल डेफिनेटली ट्राई कि एनुअल रिटर्न्स को हम लोग पूरा कवर करें। वी विल टेक दिस सेशन आफ्टर 20 सितंबर, तब तक के शायद कुछ क्लियरिटी भी आ जाएगी कि वेदर देयर गवर्नमेंट इज गिविंग सर्टेन एग्जम्पशंस फॉर फाइलिंग एनुअल रिटर्न टू अ सर्टेन type of criteria peoples or not. So friends, we will continue the session later on. So thanks and very welcome step by Dhananjay, and we will continue with these efforts. Thank you.
फ्रेंड्स, आई वुड लास्टली नाउ लाइक टू थैंक्स प्रीतम सर कि उन्होंने अपना वैल्यूएबल टाइम निकाल के मेरे ऑफिस तक आए और ये सेशन के लिए उनका नॉलेज शेयर किया। सो फ्रेंड प्रीतम सर वेरी थैंक्स। सो फ्रेंड्स, लेट्स नाउ कंक्लूड आवर सेशन। सो आई विल स्टॉप द स्ट्रीमिंग। और आप, मेरी रिक्वेस्ट है आपसे कि ये सेशन आप डायरेक्टली देख रहे हैं तो प्लीज़ ये एक्सेल कीड़ा यूट्यूब चैनल पे फर्स्ट पार्ट भी है, वो आप देख लीजिए और उसके बाद आपको शायद ये सेकंड पार्ट देखने में तकलीफ नहीं रहेगी। मुझे मालूम है कि बहुत लोगों को क्या चल रहा था, डायरेक्टली ये फॉर्मूला क्यों आया, ये नहीं कुछ नया लग रहा होगा, कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा होगा। तो सो फ्रेंड्स, रिक्वेस्ट प्लीज फर्स्ट पार्ट देखिए और उसके बाद फिर से सेकंड पार्ट देख लीजिए एंड यू विल गेट दिस। सो थैंक्स फॉर टुनाइट, वी विल स्टॉप हियर। Okay, bye and have a good day or good night.